Добрый день. Мы начинаем передачу «Силы женщины» с Еленой Речкаловой, и мы выходим на международный уровень. Сегодня нашим гостем является руководитель лидерской практики INSEAD Ханде Ясаргиль. Она совмещает в себе две должности. Она руководит лидерской практикой INSEAD, Глобального института директоров, и она является президентом Ассоциации Женщины в Советах директоров Турции. Поэтому мы будем спрашивать ее как раз в связке двух этих вопросов. Как нужно женщине сделать себя лидером, и какие функции и какие задачи ставит перед собой Ассоциация Женщин в Советах директоров. Такая ассоциация в России еще пока не создана, но мы к этому подходим. Пока у нас есть только сообщество женщин в Советах директоров, которое я возглавляю. Но поскольку такие ассоциации есть в каждых странах, и они отстаивают интересы женщин с точки зрения их компетенций, и эти ассоциации не борются за права женщин. Эти ассоциации говорят о возможностях и о потенциале женщин как профессионалов. 25 апреля происходил мастер-класс Ханде в России, который устраивает наша организация совместно с Ernst & Young. И мы очень рады, что мы открываем целый цикл передач и встреч лидеров женских сообществ в России. Я надеюсь, что мы поменяем отношение к женскому лидерству и к женским возможностям в России, так как это происходит сейчас в развитых странах. Ханде, мы очень рады вас видеть. Поэтому нам хотелось бы, чтобы вы рассказали в первую очередь о вашей карьере, как вы ее построили, и потом, почему вы решили делиться и учить остальных женщин быть более свободными.
Yeah. Thank you. It's very nice to be here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a coach, executive coach for 17 years now. And I started my own company in Istanbul, Turkey. Then I started to coach at INSEAD Business School, executive education programs. And International Directors Program is one of them that I'm leading the coaching. And clearly learning a lot about all over the world, all over the boards in the world. On the other side, in Turkey, I'm coaching lots of senior executive women for years. And just like any other country, there are not enough board members in Turkey as well. Only the countries which have quotas achieved something. The others are much lower levels than the executive female executives on the director level. There are very, very fewer women on the board level. So we looked at the countries who are kind of fighting with this and trying to change it, and we decided to do it in Turkey as well with the Forbes magazine, and that's how our journey started 7 years ago.
Очень интересный опыт, потому что Россия только встает на этот путь. В России, по последним сведениям, 7,8% женщин, которые входят в Советы директоров, их доля в Советах директоров. Но, тем не менее, Россия занимает 3-е место по доле женщин на руководящих позициях. И у нас возникает проблема, когда у нас очень много квалифицированных женщин, но стереотипы как мужские, так и женские мешают переходить им на стратегические позиции. И мы с вами прекрасно понимаем, что женщины сейчас должны играть другую роль, более развернутую. 80% потребительских расходов контролируется женщинами, а сейчас у нас рынок потребителя. Поэтому очень важно, чтобы был задействован потенциал женщин. Как вы достигаете ваших целей?
Yeah. I fully agree. There are 3 important measures to start with. One is the performance. By research, we know that when we have more women on the boards, the companies perform better. The second one is talent. the women use a wider range of leadership competencies and skills, which works effectively. And the third one is the economics. As you said, the market growth of women purchase power is bigger than China and bigger than the most growing countries. So clearly, women representation on the top of the decision making makes a huge difference in both economics, performance, and talent. But the people who decides on the board composition needs to know and recognize that. Our role is to create that awareness in the market, I believe. And as you said at the beginning of our journey, it was the same thing. We feel like there are enough competent women who can serve on the board, but they're not invited to board. And the excuse for that was they don't have enough experience already. But we should start somewhere. And when we look at the countries who have quotas, even though women don't have experience, once they sit on the board role, they know what to do. And they learn it and they experience quite fast. And we know that once the women, get on the seat, actually, they double the number of seats they occupy. When you look at the numbers, if a board member woman normally have more than 2 seats. So once we get there, the demand is higher, but we just need to break it and start getting there.
А расскажите о экономических показателях, что дает так называемая критическая масса женщин в советах директоров. Имеется в виду экономические преимущества.
Yeah, this question, what would women contribute to the board, contribute to the company, is a question that we receive a lot. But in principle, we refuse to answer that because there are a lot of research. I mean, the Catalyst, the gender parity organization doing lots of research, actually says that 10 years ago, there's a research that in the...
Да, 2004 год.
10 years ago, there was a research in the Fortune 500 companies. The top 25 percentile with women representation outperforms the bottom 25. So it's clearly when you have more women on the board level, the companies are doing better in terms of EBITDA, in terms of share value. But we don't need to prove that, because no country or no company can fly with one wing. If you use only the half of the talent, you cannot be successful. It's valid for parliaments, it's valid for society, it's valid for companies. So there's no point to discuss the economics of having the woman on the board. We refuse to discuss it. We just want to discuss how we can help women to get on the boards, because this is not a woman problem. This is a talent problem for the companies and the countries. They cannot survive in this new economy and with this new generation just with the traditional leadership.
Да, есть такой лозунг, что сейчас необходимо менять мир, нужны новые голоса, и одни из этих голосов женские.
Absolutely.
Насколько это понимается государствами, и как это принимается по-разному, государство это воспринимает?
Yeah. When we look at the different countries, there are two ways. One, the government said that there's the quota. We have the goal for 30%, 40% women representation on board, and we want you to achieve it to a certain date. So you need to plan and report us back. And otherwise you'll get the penalty. So the countries like Sweden, Norway, France, they did it, and they're achieving their results. And this research showed that they doubled their goals compared to the organization, to the countries who doesn't have the quota. So what we know is quota works. On the other hand, nobody wants quota. Because women feel like when there's a quota, they feel like they're getting to a position that they don't deserve, or they're getting to a position just because they're a woman. So no woman likes the quota anyway. But when there's no quota, there's no real development. One exception is UK. In UK, the government said that we want you to do it, but we don't want to set quota. And the business community promised it until that, 2015 will achieve the goal. So there was a clear commitment in the business community. So there were plans, they reported back. So it's the only country who reached to 28% in kind of 15 years without the quota.
Благодаря чему?
Again, it's the cooperation between the business world and the government, because government said that we want this to happen, but we don't want to put quota. And the business community said that, we're going to achieve it. And when I say business community, I mean there are really good examples. First one was FTSE 100 cross-company mentoring program. It started with 13 chairmen and a mentoring program. And then 30% Club is another organization, set the goal for women representation on board 30%, and their members are the chairman of the economy, and they all committed to make it happen. So there were mentoring programs, training programs, and also they kind of strongly approached women candidates, and they also flexed their criteria. Like if they're looking for a woman who has sit on the board earlier, they change it. They look at the potential rather than if she has done it. So flexing the criteria, looking for a wider potential pool, and commitment between the government and the business community, only the formula, I believe.
Мне кажется, это очень интересная программа, и, в принципе, мы идем, наверное, по этому же пути. Наше сообщество женщин Советов директоров России.
Yeah, and also I can give you example from Turkey.
Да.
Because we just modeled what UK did, but we started with a bigger number, because they started with 13 pairs in the mentoring. We started with 40 pairs, 40 chairmen, 40 mentors, and 40 mentees, and this was 6 years ago. In the second cohort, we did another 50 pairs, and on the third cohort, we did another 50 pairs, because the excuse is, there's not, we wanna hire female board members, but there are not enough women who have the right competencies. We say, if that's the excuse, we'll fix it. We'll fix it by chairmen telling their experiences to the mentees, and also with a training program by the mentees learn the requirements of being a board member. So we have 140 alumni right now ready to assign to boards, but still it's not working fast. So it's the difficulty, the challenge is the decision-making process at the top of the business community.
И тем не менее, Ассоциация женщин Советов директоров Турции добилась невероятных результатов. Если я не ошибаюсь, 5 лет назад доля женщин была 11%, сейчас 16%, то есть это в 2 раза меньше, чем в России, и они добились это без квот. Вы можете более подробно рассказать, непосредственно, что вы делаете, как вы отбираете менти, какая длительность этих программ, чему вы обучаете и так далее?
Sure, pleasure. The number of the 11% is when we started in the stock exchange companies, which is 400 companies. In 400 companies, the woman representation of board was 11%. But one thing is, if you take the blood relation, so the family member shareholders out, then it's 5 to 6%. So because...
Ну, как в России.
Yeah, because we come from mostly the private companies and the family businesses. So now it's 15%, and it's again, when you take the blood relation, it would take to 50% down. It's okay. I mean, we're also proud that there are family members and shareholder women who takes actively their position and be a professional board directors, which is wonderful. But we need more of all. So we don't find ourselves successful with that rate growth in the 5 years. It should have been much more, because we have a lot of mentors, chairman who supports this program and co-s, and we have a lot of ready to assign women. So the results should be higher. The good results that I can mention is actually in those 140 mentees, 75 of them has at least one board membership. That's really good for us. And once they have a board membership, they double it. So the average board membership is 2.6 in the woman. So we hold 202 seats as 140 women. But the point is, we only have 4.4 independent board directors, which is our real goal, because the rest is the group companies. They become board members in their group companies as an executive director, and they also become board members in the NGOs, because NGOs are great places for us to develop our board directorship experience. So they kind of become a board member easily to NGOs, but the critical success factor is the independent board membership, which is 4.4, and it needs to be higher. So 31% of the members are the group company board membership, and 36 is NGO.
Понятно, это очень интересно. А как происходит обучение?
Yeah. That's something that we're very proud of, because definitely my experience in INSEAD, International Directors Program, taught me a lot about what the board members needs to learn and understand. So and there are lots of other best practices in many different countries, many different universities. So we looked at them, and we looked at the requirement in Turkey to become a board member. So we designed a certification program with the contribution of 4 different universities and 1 governance academy. So we have a 6 days long certification program, independent board member certification program for women. So we cover the governance.
Только для женщин?
Only for women. Only for our mentees.
Special for women.
Only for our mentees, no one else. There's a demand for us to open the program for others, but right now it's only for mentees. And our mentees are the senior executives in the business anyway. So it's the CEOs, general managers, or -1 level only. The mentees are very senior executives anyway. So the program is 6 days, and we cover governance, law, and macroeconomics, and also the strategy, decision making in difficult times, group dynamics about the boards, and we also do a simulation, the board simulation. They get feedback from the simulation, and they also talk about leadership and gender diversity issues as well.
Правильно я понимаю, что это все-таки в том числе и теоретическая подготовка, то есть это занятия?
Definitely, there are classes, and in the university campuses, the universities that we are cooperating with, they open their campuses to us, and they give some of their professors. So we design the curriculum. They accredit the program, but they go to 6 days, which do it 2 days, 3 modules in one of the university's campuses, just like students, just like business schools.
То есть 6 модулей, это 12 дней занятия, и вся программа идет. 6 дней по 2 модуля. 6. Хорошо, да, понятно. Это очень интересно, и мне кажется, что женщины могут себе позволить такие короткие программы, и они дают очень интенсивное обучение.
Yeah, it is an intense training.
А потом менти с ментором встречаются.
Yeah. The program starts every second year in December. So it takes 18 months. In the 18 months, we match the mentee with a mentor from another company, and they take 6 to 9 mentoring sessions in 18 months. It is a strong commitment, which means every second month they meet for a mentoring session for 1.5 hours. So from the chairman, from the mentors, it's a big commitment as well. So 18 months, 6 to 9 mentoring session is number one. Number two is the 6 days long certification training program. And number three is the mentee development activities that we do every second or third month. We bring them together.
Индивидуальные программы.
All the mentees together, and we bring a speaker or we share experiences. Sometimes we do supervision about the program, but they get together and share a learning experience. So at the beginning, we ask all of them a strong commitment to join every activity because they're all very busy women as well. But this is an 18-month-long program, and they commit to join all of them. If they miss more than a day in the certification program, they don't get their certification. We're very serious about that. And this program, actually, they pay money for the mentees to join the program. They pay money, but this is a non-profit program, so all the money they pay go back to their own development. So their companies pay for their development, so they need to attend most of the events. But I think the best surprise, I said mentoring, certification, and development activities, but the unexpected surprise and the gain from the program is the sisterhood that we created. Because we were not expecting to create such a sisterhood at the top of the business community of female executives. They suddenly feel like sisters. They help each other, they support each other. When one of them get a promotion, everybody celebrates. When there's a difficulty, everybody supports. It's an amazing cooperation they see between them. And it's clearly a sisterhood. And I think we all need it. And this doesn't have borders.
Сколько человек в вашем сообществе?
It's 140 alumni. So 40 in the first phase, 50 and 50 in the second and third phase. 140 alumni we have.
Это очень интересно. То есть я так понимаю, что еще и много интересного связано с их совместной жизнью вне работы.
Yeah. Clearly, at some point, we noticed that, they wanted to do something social together. And they demanded us, let's organize a lunch, let's organize this. I said, that's not our job and that's not what we plan. Should we invite a speaker? She said, no, we just want to get together and lunch together. So we understood that there's a social need to get to know each other and to connect. So we created a kind of a platform for that. We created committees. So there's an internal communication committee within that. And it works really well. To be honest, they organize lunches, dinners, even holidays. And the 3 cohorts are together. We have a WhatsApp group including 140 women. You can imagine what a busy communication we have there time to time, but we truly enjoy it.
Какие комитеты созданы в ассоциации?
Yeah. After the 4th year, which is the second term, we decided that because this program started simply me and my best friend, who is the chief editor of Forbes Turkey, and it was our dream, and we created it with a great support from some chairman of the organization for the country. But after 4 years, we felt like it's not sustainable like this. It's relying on my and her time, voluntary time out of work is not sustainable. So we decided to start up the association. So now we are a Women on Board Turkey Association, and we have 24 board members, which is quite a big number for any board. But normally you have 9 board members, but we have a secondary 9, and we want all of them to work together. And we also have the audit committee and the secondary audit committee, so all of us working together. And this is 24 members of the board, but the others are the mentees, are the members. So we created committees. We have 10 committees. So one is internal
10 комитетов.
internal communication, the other is external communication. They manage the media relationships and our social media and all those things. And one committee creates the knowledge management. So, which research we should keep and show in our web, what kind of research we do and those kind of things. And another committee does, collaborations, because there are many organizations that we should collaborate to reach our goals, and they're managing that. And another committee is creating funds for that. And we are very proud that in the first year we got a EU fund for our association, which has a lot of real regulations. So we have lots of committees and a kind of a certification committee, and all the committees are working with real enthusiasm. We have a mentor committees who communicates with the mentors, and the mentee committees who hires the mentees, and we have a governance committee who kind of decides what to discuss in the board, what to decide on the committees. We're trying to create our own best practice in terms of board work.
С большим энтузиазмом, я так понимаю, что все работают.
Yes.
Главное – это энтузиазм.
When you bring so many women together, it's inevitable.
Но это женщины умные и крупные.
Definitely, we're proud of them. Yeah.
А у вас есть какой-то отбор в этой ассоциации? Какие требования к членам?
Definitely. Actually, not for the association, but for the mentoring program, because our association members are the members from the mentoring program. Originally, we go to mentors who are the chairman and chairwoman of the companies. We ask them to become a mentor in our organization. And once they accept, we say, do you have a mentee in your organization to give to the program? So they nominate their own mentees. We don't choose them. But we give them a set of criteria. And the first one is she needs to be the most senior woman in the organization. So CEO or CEO -1 level. And preferably, she should have the P&L responsibility rather than the head of support function. So should have a commercial experience. And then, if they don't have the commercial experience or the CEO -1, then we maybe accept CEO -2. But our goal is the most senior woman in the executive line, and the P&L responsibility are the requirements. But we also ask them to allow their mentee from their organization to sit on another company's board. Because what's the point if they're not going to sit on the board? So the chairman should allow them to sit on another company's board as an independent director if there's no conflict about the competitiveness.
А женщины конкурируют друг с другом?
Unbelievable, but no. In this organization, even in the first orientation meeting, we broke that. And everybody, once you share your vulnerability with each other, everybody supports. And I can't forget one moment, the sector which has the most competition in Turkey is the GSM operators. There are kind of strong competition between them. And we had the 3 very senior executive female from that companies that it was amazing that they were able to become part of these sisterhood, and they're the leaders of that sisterhood today. In the first, the mentees from the first phase became mentors now, and one of them become the golden skirt. I call her. You know, the golden skirt term is once you become a board member, you become really popular, and everybody wants you to sit on their board. So you get 2-3 membership at the same time. So one of them is really becoming a golden skirt board member right now.
Скажите, пожалуйста, как вы считаете, какие есть барьеры внутри женщин, чтобы продвигать и сделать себе карьеру? Неуверенность в себе. И как с этим бороться?
Yeah. Even though the women that we have as our mentees are the top business executives, and no matter only in Turkey or in, you know, globally, we have some barriers for our confidence when you compare with men, actually. Clearly, number one is being the perfectionist. You know, we always want to be 100% ready for everything and want to know everything before we take a role. While men are more easy, you know, when they say, you know, there's this important role, would you take it? They just jump on it. We say, I'm not sure if I can do it. If I take it, I need to do a good job. So the perfectionism is one of the, you know, number one difficulty we have. The second one is a downplay. We put ourselves down. And the reason we do it, not to take envy probably. So kind of when we're challenged or when we want to object something, we say, I'm not sure if I'm right, but maybe, you know, we just have a very soft and downplay positioning not to get any objection or envy from other people. Yeah. And another one is the lack of negotiation.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a global fact that, you know, women are not great negotiators for themselves. You know, there are many very successful women leaders in terms of procurement. They negotiate great for their companies. But when it comes to their salary, their position, they don't feel comfortable. And another one we call tiara syndrome, you know?
Да.
And because, you know, we feel like if we do everything right and well, somebody is going to see it and put a tiara on our kind of a medal. But it doesn't happen, so we wait too long for that. While men says that, hey, look at me, I'm doing a good job, why don't you give me that role? And once you get it, you ask for it, you get it more. So those are the few of the barriers we have within ourselves. And but also, I think the barriers from the other side, the way they see us, is a big problem too. Because there are research, most of them come with the book Lean In from Sheryl Sandberg. And there are research-based findings as barriers. First of all, we know that men are promoted more and paid more. That's a fact. The second is, when there's a man and a woman speak at the same time, let's say 3 minutes, I am perceived that I'm talking too much, while he's not perceived that he's talking too much. So even though we don't talk longer, we feel like we talk longer, which is not a good thing. And also, when you're hiring men and women, again, by research, men are hired by their potential, and women are hired by experience. So they look at men, say that, can he do that job? But they look at the woman and say that, has she done it before? So they look at proof for me, but only a potential for him. So we are kind of fighting with barriers outside and inside. It's not an easy thing, but it's a journey, and we started the journey.
Это очень интересно, очень правильные формулировки. Я думаю, что на мастер-классе, который вы будете делать в России, вы об этом расскажете, и это вызовет большое одобрение, потому что это как раз ровно в сердце проблемы. Но в России об этом вообще не говорят. У нас не очень популярная тема, потому что мы добились равноправия в 1918 году. И все эти годы нам не нужно было бороться за равные права. Но сейчас, когда вышли экономические доказательства, что смешанные команды гораздо эффективнее, чем моногендерные, мы стали говорить о том, что у женщин должны быть больше возможностей.
You have rights starting from 1918, and we have equal rights starting with our republic, 1923. And Turkey is one of the first countries where women are given the right to vote and to be chosen for parliament. But we have the lowest number in the parliament today. So having the rights is not enough.
Сколько?
You know,
Сколько у вас?
owning the rights and using the rights matters. And that is not by law, that is by culture. And the culture needs to get there. And you say we don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. It's a very difficult topic to talk about gender because there are lots of stigma, lots of stereotypes. And we even talk about feminine and masculine. What is feminine and what is masculine? Talk about it and see how people kind of get, against you, because it's not an easy topic. But we need to keep talking about it. We need to bring it to the agenda. Diversity is about being differences, not about similarity. So we need to start talking about our differences. Equal rights are different. It has nothing to do with differences. We have equal rights, but we need to talk about the differences, and it's not an easy topic.
Замечательная формулировка. Не надо концентрироваться на разнице, надо продвигать разнообразие.
Yeah. Because our goal is not to make boards out of women. We want to make boards where women and men work together, because that's where the value comes from. We know that by research over research, when there's a diversity in any decision-making table, the decisions are better. So we just need to start with men and women. That's because women are the biggest underrepresented group, but also then we're going to talk about age differences, then we're going to talk about many other ethnicity and many other differences. We need diversity in every table, but it starts with gender.
Хотя бы потому, что просто его проще посчитать. Например, в России нет гендерной статистики.
But it's easy to get it because there are business magazines and journalism. If we kind of tried to cooperate with Forbes magazine, and Forbes magazine put lots of numbers there. And then we did a cooperation with KPMG and other audit companies. They do researches. We support each other, so we get the data. Yes, you need the data to start talking about it. But data is one thing, and we need to talk about the real issues, and it's use the global numbers. There are not many different. All over the world, girls and boys graduate from the universities at the equal numbers. And most of the new entrants to the companies, the same number as well. When we come to the middle management, it goes to 40 to 60%. And when it goes to the top management, 20 to 80%. When it goes to board, it's below the 20. So what's happening? It's not Russia, it's not Turkey, it's not America, it's everywhere if you don't intervene the system. So what is happening? We feel like this game of work is set for men. Years ago, when with the Industrial Revolution and everything. So, it just said the rules was set by men for men. At some point, they said, okay, woman, you want to join the game? You can join the game if you can cope with it. So we start to join the game, and we actually learned how to behave like them. But that's not working. We don't want to be like them. We want to be us. And we want to create the value as who we are. So we need to change the rule of the games, not just joining to their game. We just need to change the rule of the games. The chairperson of 30% Club in UK says that, we don't want more slices from the cake. We want to change the recipe. And I think that's what we need to be trying to do it.
Я думаю, что Ханде рассказал нам очень много интересного, и, может быть, изменится и ментальности мужчин и женщин. Тот путь, который они прошли за 6 лет, он очень показателен. Это означает, что тот путь, который мы начинаем сегодня, будет успешен, потому что сама идея очень правильная. Тут много зависит от энергетики, которая есть у женщин. Мы действительно хотим скорректировать пока правила игры в мужском мире. Но я думаю, что если нам будут помогать женщины более опытные из других стран, то этот путь мы пройдем гораздо быстрее. Я благодарю Ханде за интереснейшее интервью. Я уверена, что будет интересный мастер-класс. Я думаю, что многие женщины посмотрят по-другому на те барьеры, которые их останавливают. И я желаю вам больших успехов в вашем интересном и очень полезном деле.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here. And in your journey, remember that you have 140 sisters in Turkey.
Спасибо.
Thank you.